Hello learners! In this video, I'm going to share with you the lessons that I have learned during one of my travels with my sons. I learned two things from the experience. First is about trusting the process, and second, believing in faith. Before we proceed with the lessons, let's go to the story. So this is how it goes. We were at the mall, my two sons and I, and we were strolling around the stall for the toys, and they were looking for the toys that they wanted. With my youngest son, he found a small box of toy, and it was characters of Naruto. I'm not really familiar with the story of Naruto or the characters, but all I can say is I know the character Naruto, but after the name and the figure, I cannot anymore recognize what Naruto is all about or who Naruto is. But my sons, since they are exposed to videos that they see online, they learn the characters, the names of the characters, the stories, and so on. So in short, my youngest son recognized the box. It was Naruto. And there were characters posted in the other side of the box. So he told me that it was the toy that he wants to buy. And he was requesting that we pick the specific character that is his favorite, which was named Kakashi. So when I looked at the box, it was sealed. And in each box is a character, whether it's Naruto or Kakashi and the rest of the characters. So I said, the box is sealed. I told my son, the box is sealed and we cannot guess who is the character inside the box. But he insisted that he wants Kakashi. So because of my love for my son, I approached a salesman and tried to request if we can open the box to see who was the character inside that particular box. The first box that we gave the salesman, he was generous that time, so he opened it for us and then he sealed it again. But unfortunately, the character inside that box that we gave him was not the character that my son was aiming for, which was Kakashi. So my son, because my son was 5 years old, you know how jolly they are and they cannot yet determine which is right or wrong or things like that. They just do random things and things just happen. So he went back to that location and got another box, and he was gesturing that we open that box again. So actually, honestly, I was a little bit embarrassed of approaching the salesman again because I understand that the box is sealed and it would be a little bit unethical for us to keep on opening the boxes. But then because I want my son to feel validated of his desires and requests, so I tried for the second time. So I smiled with a little bit of embarrassment and requested politely to the salesman if we can open the second box, hoping that it would be the character Kakashi. So the second time, this time, the salesman said I would go there and ask my superior. So he went there and asked the superior and went back to us with a negative response saying that it should not be opened because there is a line in the box saying that it's mystery or it's surprise, meaning it's like a mystery box. So we have to guess who the character inside is, meaning to say we have to buy the box without knowing who is inside the box. So it's like a mystery box. Now, I faced my son and politely told him what the salesman said. I told my son that we cannot open the box anymore, meaning we cannot guess or we cannot specifically choose your favorite character inside the box, but if we are going to buy this box of toy, you will have to pick randomly and hope that it will be Kakashi, but at the same time anticipate that it might not be the character that you want. So I asked my son if he would really go with the idea of buying the box, knowing that there's a risk that it might not be the character that he wants. And he was very firm with his decision, saying, yes, it's fine with me, let's just pick a box. So since it was agreed between the two of us, I then told my son, okay, go and pick a box. So imagine, on the shelf with the many boxes available, he picked randomly one box. And of course, we did not open it yet because we have to pay it at the counter. So we paid it at the counter, and when we arrived home, he happily unboxed that toy without any expectation. And this is the surprising part. When he opened the box, the character inside was the character that he was aiming for. It was Kakashi. So I was so surprised. Until today. I'm so surprised how it happened, because there was no hint at all. In fact, I asked him many times before we bought the toy. I asked him that there's a risk that it might not be your favorite character. So what if it's not your favorite character? Will you still accept the toy? And he said, yes, it's fine. But of course, I understand his desire or his first preference that it should be Kakashi. But he was very polite and kind of just simply accepting things to unravel itself. Now when it was open, I was very shocked, because it's like it was scripted, or I really could not find the right words to express. And then I also told my sons, it's very amazing, and they agreed. I said, we did not peek into the box, we did not unbox it, but look at what we got. It was Kakashi, his favorite. And he was very happy. I was very happy too for him. So he played with his toy, and up till now, I'm really amazed with that story. As I reflect with that story, I was able to compose life lessons from that simple scenario of ours. First, it's about trusting the process. Second, it's about believing in faith. First, trusting the process. I understood from the end of my son, it was difficult for him to trust the process because there was a risk. What if when he opens the box, it was not Kakashi, and he was really into the character Kakashi? And there were more than 10 characters, meaning there were more than 10 possibilities of guessing which one here is Kakashi. But he understood the risk, he anticipated it, and he was already in the position where if in case it was not Kakashi, he will still play with the toy, he will still accept it. So he trusted the process of just simply getting that box, buying it, and taking full responsibility of accepting the consequence. He trusted the process and looked how God was very generous of my innocent child. God had this amazing way of making him satisfied because he trusted the process. It might be difficult, it might be impossible, but because of my son's innocent heart of trusting the process, he was able to get what he wanted. So I must say that in life, we just really have to trust the process, no matter how impossible it might be, or no matter how many possible consequences we could accept just to settle for it. And then for the second one, it's believing in fate. That scenario, I must say that it was already meant to happen. I must say that fate must have already written the ending of that scenario for my son, that maybe my son would really get the character of Kakashi, no matter how many possibilities there are, no matter how many boxes or how many characters are there with him just guessing and picking randomly. Maybe it was already fated for my son to have Kakashi as one of his toys. So I could say that sometimes in life, what fate had already written for us will really meant to happen. No matter how many possible chances of randomness, of mysteries there are, if that one box of mystery is meant for you to happen, then it will happen. Because imagine, out of the many boxes, there were no hints of which box to choose. No one had a clue. I had no clue because all the boxes were the same. And no salesman also approached us to teach us that pick this one. It was just my son alone who picked from the shelf at the mall. And what he picked was the one that he wanted so much. So, as I reflected and contemplated, I must say that if fate has already written that something is meant for you, you would always have that. No matter how far it could be, or no matter how impossible it seems, it will be in your hands. I really love to share this story because it was a simple scenario, but really, it must have been God's way of telling me, of showing me His power, how He can control things, that if we humans just simply trust the process, just simply believe in faith, then He might reward us with the desire of our heart. And the happiness that we would have would be so much that we cannot fathom anymore. I hope you learned something from this video. If you want to talk about anything else after this, just comment down below.